Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where now that we're officially at war with the American Union, we weren't aiming for that, but we're here nonetheless, I wanted to show this splash screen, which of course pops up every time I start up the game, since technically we're past the finish point of Hearts of Iron. Now, according to this, and I'm not sure how this is average member strength. Okay, according to this, the strength is equal, but you can see here, it's really not. Like, really not. I think we're going to struggle with this. Very tremendously. And I'm not sure that we will even unpause in this episode. Because we have a lot of work to do. Now, we've set up a few basic plans here for attacking the American Union. Of course, looking at this, you can see we have a lot of work to do. There's no doubt about it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do what I was talking about previously, and we are going to optimize our coast guards, make them go back to being just coast guards, and we're going to bring the remainder of those troops into trying to take some quick territory, and hope that the American Union is not prepared for that. I have no idea how long this process is going to take, but probably a while. So, first things first, we can see there's this unit that is responsible for defending all of South America. Now, I'm going to create a new theater here, and we're not going to keep them in this theater, but what we're going to do is we're going to immediately remove any units that are not our garrison units. So these are all units that are from foreign militaries, right? So any units like these, I'm just going to assume, without even looking at them, that these units are better for straight up combat than what we have in our garrison units, anyway. Not necessarily better in our actual army units, but in our garrison units. So we're going to grab all of these. And there's quite a number of them in this force. That's for sure. And we're going to assign those over here. Now, for these guys, I want to remove some states from their area of defense. So like this one. This is very unlikely to be attacked. So that's a good one to remove. This one is not a good one to remove because that is a border state. But I'm going to remove anything that is not technically on the border. That one is on the border, as is that one and that one. But this one is not on the border, nor is that. So you can see here we are dropping our division requirements by doing this. And that's what I mean by optimizing this. Now, some of these will require garrisoning still, and this is mostly to prevent things like naval invasions. So that's a good one to drop there. This one, I think that they can naval invade through here. So we're going to do that. Yeah, that's all up over this way. So that's all we can do that way. Of course, Amazon is a huge region. This one needs to stay. This one can go, as can this one and this one. Okay, some of these, if we manage to take this over, won't have to remain. But we're going to do this something like this. So these guys, they're going to come up here, and they're going to frontline over here. Now, I would like it if they would frontline all of this. I'm also noticing we don't really have any troops in the Amazon, which doesn't make me very happy, if I'm honest. So we're going to divide this in half. And then this unit, or actually maybe like this one, will pop back in here. And we'll just have these two. And this will go back into our Coast Guard. I just wanted to create the theater. Okay. So these units here, they are assigned to this. And you can see there's quite a lot of units here. And these guys haven't technically been called in yet. That's the Russian Federation. Okay. So we're going to have these guys frontline like over here, but I want them to cover this entire area. So we are going to instead select half of these units, frontline here, and then we'll also have some frontline over here. And there are no divisions assigned to that. right now. So we need 8 assigned to each. Like that. And then we will select these. I wanted to deselect this one, not select only that one. And we will assign 8 to here. Okay. Now, it'll take some time for them to get up there. I'm well aware of this. They will offensive line something like this. That did not select all of the units I was hoping, but I guess that's fine. We will select these guys and have them offensive line like that, and then select these guys and have them offensive line up here. Now, I don't necessarily expect this to work, to be clear. These guys, their goal is to offensive line over here. That said, if the Russian Federation never gets called in here, which is unlikely, but if the Russian Federation never gets called in here, it's possible. Okay. Now, these are not optimal in terms of armies there, right? But that's fine. I want to kick them out of the American Union, or rather out of integrated Brazil. And you can see here we are losing these battles, but we do expect some of this. Now, we may actually be able to take this as well. These units aren't amazing. And that's fine. They aren't intended to be amazing. Let's see. These guys are American Union up here. Right. El Salvador hasn't been called in. This is held by the United States directly. Now, we should expect when we unpause that the US is going to hit that big call all button. And if they do, problems will ensue. We can't just quickly take Algeria, can we? And then end the war. I think Algeria would capitulate, but then we'd still be at war with the US. Okay, so let's continue to work our way through here. So there's this region here. These guys are at 79, and that's optimal already. So we'll call this good for now. This unit, of course, we just set up. These guys over here. They're all coastal as is. So there's not too much to be done there. Over here. Problems are likely to ensue. Now, we are shifting a bunch of units over here, currently. The question is there anywhere that we can remove? And I kind of feel like there isn't. So that'll be fine. Okay, these guys over here. I mean, I feel like this is kind of the way it's going to be, right? In a lot of these cases. Not in all of them, but in a lot of them. These guys are already somewhat backed off. Now, we don't... Actually, we do need to defend that. These guys are already backed off. Okay. Will they attack if they see undefended locations in area defense mode, though? I don't know that they will. We were definitely not prepared to be fighting the US. So really, there's not as much to do here as I expected there to be. I mean, there's this force, which is wildly under strength. We do have a 249 nukes. This is going to be rough. I guess the question is, do they call everybody in? And I guess there's only one way to find out. We definitely want to free up Algeria. So let's keep pushing in over here. And, I mean, yeah, the US is going to push us in some of these locations. There's only so much that we can do right now, though. England has joined. Republican Italy has joined. That's rough. That's very rough. Oh, this is big. What's going on here? The United States called the Russian Federation. That's pretty rip, honestly. I don't know that we can win. I mean, we can push Algeria out of this. Aggressively execute. We need to get pushed in here as quickly as possible. We have a lot of garrisoned locations here. But I don't think we hold on to them for very long, in all honesty. Okay, they're calling more people in. This isn't surprising. It is disappointing. Like I said, we weren't really ready for this war. And the question is, what do we do with it? Yeah. Is France in this? I don't think they are yet. They're a supervised state of the Russian Federation, so they should be, right? No, they're not, though. Huh. That's weird. For sure. Can see nukes going off over in Greater Hungary. Now, I'm not super surprised by this. I will say that we should probably start attempting to get some nukes going on in the US. So what we're going to do is we're going to add an air wing here. And we're going to need some air superiority as far north as we can. So we're going to want to, first off, get some jet strategic bombers in there. But before we do that, we're going to want to get jet fighters for their range. Where are they? Jet Fighter 2s. This is not Jet Fighter 2 Mark 1s, is it? It's just Jet Fighter 2s. Here's Jet Fighter 2 Mark 1s. Okay, so we're gonna put in some of these. You can see we can't quite reach Washington. This is our farthest north airbase. Okay. Well, we're just gonna work on air superiority in the East Coast. I need to select these guys and tell them to go to the East Coast. Now, that's probably not going to do too well. We have air superiority in the Midwest? Sorry, what? Okay. Well, this is going to eat up our manpower very quickly. And that's definitely another thing that we need to consider with this war, is that our manpower is... We weren't prepared to actually go into this war. It was a matter of time until somebody pulled this on us. But I was hoping that it would be a longer matter of time. So let's put in some jet strategic bombers here. We don't, I think, need a huge wing for that. But I do want some of them. Oh, where are they? I really wish there was a search in this list, but there is not. Okay, so we're just going to put in, say, 50 of those. Okay, and they are going to look to strategic bomb the East Coast, I guess. That actually does give us air superiority. Isn't that interesting? We don't have 75% air superiority in the region. This hasn't updated yet. I think we need to take it a day. Polish Republic was called in. Okay, that ticked a day. Are these guys still deploying? They may still be deploying. Yeah, they're still deploying. Okay, so that'll take some time. And yeah, you can see here that they have air superiority in quite a number of locations. We're working on it, kind of, but we're going to struggle. Now, we have a modern tank template here, and we're going to just assign that in, like, over here, I guess. Now, I'm not expecting our garrisons to really hold. Like, look at this. I'm expecting us to take big losses over here, which is problematic. I mean, we can knock Algeria out of the war. It's not a problem. But calling in the US... Oof. The fact that they did when they did. That's what hurts. I'm not sure we can possibly win this. Perhaps. Okay, so these guys are still working on deploying out here. And hopefully they'll get there soon. Like, our overseas holdings, I'm quite certain are going to crumble. I don't see that there's much of a way that we can hold that, in reality. Yeah, all of these guys are going to join. This is the US calling in everybody, I think. Or close to it. Yeah, here they come. Okay. Well, how's that air superiority going? I mean, the US has a lot of airplanes in those air bases. But... yeah, they're going to call in more. I'm aware. Yup. Here comes more. Okay. Do we have the air superiority here now? We have air units in the region, but they're not performing their missions or are not able to overcome enemy air superiority. Well, we're not seeing the enemy having any units here. They have anti-air guns, yes. This is, I think, because this group here has not yet deployed. Yeah, I'm aware that more people are joining. So what we need to do here, we can invite to faction. And in fact, that's something that we should do. We'll invite these guys in. And there's a couple of unassigned divisions over here. But not like we really expect them to do too much. We're taking losses over here. That's all to be expected. That is all to be expected. So all we're trying to do right now... well, the US got their planes deployed at the same time we did. That's unfortunate. Our planes are, I think, superior to theirs. But yeah, reduced by the enemy anti-air in region. So let's go ahead and bump this on up to 1,000. And it'll reinforce there eventually. Republic of China called in. Yep. This is all to be expected. Like, we were not prepared for this war. And we knew that. We knew that we weren't prepared. So this was never really going to be a particularly good war if it happened at this time, which it absolutely did. Which is unfortunate for us, to be sure. But what are we supposed to do about it, ultimately? I mean, what I should have done about it is I should have moved quickly earlier on. As in, getting all of this earlier and just played the early game differently. But we pretty much made our bed and now we're lying in it. So this campaign may well result in failure. I don't claim to be great at this game. Not in the slightest. So let's see here. We do have air superiority over the Midwest, apparently. Or perhaps there's just nobody over there. What if we shifted to the Midwest? We need at least 75% air superiority in the region. So we'll have to let this tick. Okay, they ticked in additional units there. They do have the 65 anti-air guns, which is reducing our anti-air, or rather is reducing our power here by 325. So we need an extreme amount of fighters to get this air superiority. Okay, what is the range of fighter 3s? Fighter 3s have, I think, less range. Of course, they would have less range. They definitely do. Where are our fighters? I really wish there was a search box in here. I really do. Heavy fighter 3s. I'm looking for, I think, regular fighter 3s. Fighter 3 Mark 2s. Yeah, that would be okay. We don't have a ton of these, but I mostly just want to see what their range is like. Okay, good to know. Okay. That is definitely good to know. So, I mean, we can finish taking Algeria. That's not a problem. Although, we're not going the direction I would like us to. I would like us to head up over here. Like, take this victory point, guys. Algeria will surrender. Get in here. Okay. So, I mean, we can take Algeria, but at what cost at this point, right? That's the question, is at what cost? I mean, there are gains happening over here, allegedly, but I don't think we ultimately win this. They're still calling more people in. I mean, they're spread as thin as we are, except that they have a lot more member states. That's the thing. They have a whole lot more member states. Let's check in on our air superiority over here. I mean, this is never going to be particularly great because of their anti-air, which they have built a lot of, to be sure. We're going to be better off in the East Coast. And I think we're going to need... We could build, or we could put in some close air supports, sure. I think we're going to be better off, though, going for simply some... How much air experience do we have? We have 214. Okay. I want fighter 3s here. These are heavy fighter 3s, and that's maybe okay. They have long range and powerful weapons. Yeah. So let's see what their actual range is. 2,000 kilometers for heavy fighter 3s. So let's get some heavy fighter 3s going, and let's build those, I think, instead of building this many jet strategic bombers and this many tactical bombers, let's back off a little bit and prioritize a bit on the heavy fighters. Like that. Now, do we want to actually modify this? I want to check their range first. So let's put in some heavy fighter 3s. In here somewhere. I know it's in here somewhere. Well, I really wish there was a search box in here. Okay, these guys here. That's not terrible. For now, we'll call this good. Now, this is capped at 2,000, so we'll just subtract like 50 there. And do something like that. Okay. Yeah, they're calling in more people, obviously. And then this will update in a bit. Basque Country has capitulated. Okay. So that was one of those that we set up over here. Yeah, that's this. So these guys now need orders. Now, I believe that France is still not in this war. I have not seen France in this war. Not yet. Okay. These guys are independent. So what do we want to do with this army? Well, oh, we need to do naval deployments too. That's going to be very important. So let's go ahead and do some naval deployments to try to stop them getting some movement done. First things first, I want to have these guys, and we're going to remove all regions from them. I want to have them, they're currently in the Western Mediterranean, that's fine. We're going to need to deploy in strategic points. So we're going to have them come down to the Cape of Africa, I think. These guys, they're in the Western Mediterranean as well. They're going to instead patrol here, just to ensure that we control the entrance to the Mediterranean, hopefully. These guys, what are they going to do? They are going to patrol the Florida coast. There we go. And then these guys, they are going to patrol... Did we not have them on patrol? Yeah, they're on patrol. Okay. These guys, they are going to patrol the Caribbean. These guys, they are going to apparently be deselected, but they're going to patrol the eastern seaboard. These guys, they are going to patrol the Newfoundland Sea. These guys are going to patrol the Labrador Sea. Okay. So that'll blockade this entire coast, assuming we, get some form of control there. These guys, I want them to guard our southern tip down here. I'm actually going to remove all orders and tell them to come on down here. Okay. These guys, I want them to patrol the Mexican coast. These guys will patrol the western seaboard. And then these guys, the North Pacific. Okay. So that'll get us some Navy layouts there. I mean, it's not great, but it gets us a few choke points. This means that the US, in theory, would have no way to get into the Atlantic Ocean. Now, they can probably beat our navies. So I'm not betting on that, but that's an assumption. Not a good assumption, but an assumption. Okay, we do need something for this army to do. And what do we want this army to do? France is already planned for, but they haven't joined yet. Honestly, I'd kind of like to start attacking the Russian Federation. See if we can maybe frontline them over here. And then offensive line to, like, here or something. I mean, that's unlikely to be very successful, but at the very least we can back this up a little bit. It'll be interesting to get them there for sure, but we'll see. At any rate, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we'll see how this goes. It's going to be spicy. There's no doubt about it. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.